the typical case for ODA, and this is Japanese government spend a lot of money. In Africa, the same. They're going to spend a lot of money, 30 billion Japanese yen.
So that this money, right? So actually, another problem here is that why do we spend ODA money? It's basically to help build relationships, build business overseas, right? So why do we invest in countries like Bangladesh? Is to help companies, big companies like Mitsubishi, etc., to establish relationships, business relations in Bangladesh. That's the ultimate objective, I believe, or that should be the ultimate objective. Otherwise, why? It's not. We are not really that altruistic.
Don't they have some kind of ombudsman system? Ombudsman.
Well, I'm not sure, but the point is basically because by design, these ODA projects, there are tender documents. So you need to write the specifications of what you're going to deliver. They need to be accessible not only to Japanese suppliers but also to international suppliers. It's a big project. Then it needs to be open to foreign participants as well. Those are the rules that are set by the UN. Which is basically a good idea. But since we were the ones who wrote the tender specifications prior to actually going there, because we didn't have the project yet and we were not supposed to go there, it was a Japanese JICA project. So prior to us going there, we wrote the specifications about, okay, so this is a weather station, this is how it works, this is what we put in, and it was what we were used to make in Japan, right, or for other clients. But we never actually talked to the people in Bangladesh, the people who were supposed to use it. So we didn't really know anyone there while we wrote the specifications.
This is because the Japanese people cannot communicate with local people.
Right. So, but that doesn't change. That didn't change after the project started. We did not really sit down and talk to these people because basically, what JICA said, we are only going to pay you if you're going to deliver as specified. So once we actually got to know some people, we could not change anything. Even though we knew that there were problems, that they were not used to doing things certain ways, but they had certain requirements to do it another way. It was too late already because it had been specified. So we had to do it exactly as we had promised to do, even though it didn't make sense to the client.
How do we going to solve this kind of issues? Almost all cases the same.
Yes. I think that the answer is only if we stop thinking that we can design solutions for problems that we do not know. What I mean with that is that the only way that we can solve this is that we look at what people are trying to achieve, certain projects that they are undertaking. And if we're really serious about building up relationships, then if there is a problem with finance, we try to support them. If there is a problem with maybe some additional skills, etc., we can support them. But the problem is that most Western countries, they don't want to support. They want to take ownership. They want to control it because it's their money. So they don't want to contribute to help them. No, they want to define and run the entire project, and that's when things go wrong.
Okay, I did know that a lot about in China and the Japanese ODA in the past several decades, not now, but at that time, Japanese government asked the Chinese government what they want, and then they try to submit everything to Chinese people. But actually, lots of lives, and Japanese people are not well involved in for planning and execution. Nobody supervises cost and achievement and result.
Yes.
So many projects is disastrous, you know. So, okay,
I saw these projects too.
this is the same. It's very difficult, you know. Okay, we can delegate or we can throw the ball,
Right.
the project, but that we're going to fail. Like a Bangladesh, we cannot do that.
Yeah,
But
it's true. It's true. And I mean, it's true. I mean, I once in Uganda, I ran into a guy, and we started talking, and he asked me, "So where are you from?" I said, "I'm from the Netherlands." He said, "Oh, I do business with the Netherlands." Oh, really? So what kind of business is that? Well, actually, so I'm a big. I have a big company. I sell clothes. I import them from Europe and from the Netherlands mostly. They are my biggest supplier. I import them from the Netherlands, and we sell them here in Uganda. Oh, that's fantastic. So who are your suppliers? And he gives me the name. It's the Zak van Max.
no, what?
The Zak van Max? You got to be kidding me. The Zak van Max, that is a very big organization in the Netherlands. What they do is they collect clothes, used clothes, in the Netherlands, and people donate those clothes because they feel that
Oh, yeah,
under
that's
the
right.
pretext.
It's very famous.
Yeah, so basically they give those clothes away because it's they are supposed to be donated
Yes.
to poor people who don't have any money. But the reality is that there's just a company in Uganda who takes those clothes and
Sorry.
who sells them for a profit.
Yes, right. That's right. Big business.
Okay, so it's big business there. So they make lots of money because they're buying for free. There's
Yes.
no cost involved. Everything is paid by the
Yes. That's right.
the Dutch, and nobody actually checked whether these clothes are being handed to the people for free or actually being sold for people who already have money.
Yeah, this
Okay,
is
so that's the
depending
other
on the.
side.
I just written down the kind of articles in Africa, and they depending what kind of clothes prices, so big differences. T-shirt is not only T-shirt, but T-shirt by put on some branding is very expensive there.
Yeah.
You know, this sort of things is just yeah, very interesting, right? But nobody knows.
Right. Right. So yeah, so it's not easy. I think that what I was saying about projects like in Tanzania with the glass factory and the project in Bangladesh, that project that went wrong because I think it was wrong by design. But the project in Uganda went wrong because there was not enough oversight. There was
Uganda is Museveni, I think he's a president. Museveni.
Yes.
Many years is a dominant that country. Uganda is.
He was Museveni. Yeah, you're right. Actually, I'm not sure. Is he still president there? Because he was
Yeah.
president already when I was
Already?
there, and that's in 1995 or something.
Yeah, for
96.
20 years, and now it's changing, or she's trying to keep position. I forget that. But sort of things I think is very good issues that we're going to discuss. You know, even if this is Africa.
So he's this Museveni guy. I was a big fan of him actually. He came after Idi Amin and Obote.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know you, but Idi Amin was one of the worst dictators in Africa.
In the worst dictator.
Yeah, worst dictators in Africa. He many people were killed under his regime. The only way that he made money is by working with terrorists and giving them a safe haven. It was absolutely, the guy was absolutely 100% nuts. I think there's nobody in this planet who could say anything good about him as a president. So that it was the country was completely mismanaged, and Obote was maybe even worse, but he was there for a shorter time. So that we don't remember him so much. Yeah, then all of a sudden a new president came up, Museveni, and he was educated in England, even at Cambridge or something, one of the best universities in the world. He was a very enlightened president, and really he made a lot of good changes. But the only problem that he made is that he thought that the country would immediately fall to pieces if he would lose the elections or he would step down. And so the problem with Museveni is that he could not say, he could not leave power. He did not want to leave power anymore. So from a very good and enlightened and benevolent president, he became just like his predecessors,